Well, we tried to have a show on Friday night, but the rain and weather and the field conditions, quite frankly, just wouldn't cooperate. So we had to wait a day for the biggest high school football game of the young season. But a full weekend in the books, why not still give you at least some semblance of Friday football fever right here on WGGB.com. We've got all of your highlights from Week 6. Well, now that we've sufficiently built it up, let's get to the game. Central and Longmeadow. Some would still argue they're the two best teams in the area. At the very least, they're two of the top four. Central playing host the Lancers in their not-so-customary #2 spot in the rankings, and we pick it up in the first quarter off a Longmeadow interception. Sequoia Malone capitalizing on the turnover. 7-zip Golden Eagles early on. But on the ensuing Lancer possession, Terry Norris off the swing pass from Jake Lazarus. Nice little move right there, and then take a look at this. How's that for picking up a couple extra yards? Terry Norris with a big play down inside the 5 to the 3, and that sets up first play of the second quarter. Touchdown, Longmeadow, 7-7. Shortly thereafter, this is not a replay. This is a different play, 14-7. Norris again into the end zone. Lancers with the lead. Ensuing Central drive. First play from scrimmage. Sequoia Malone caught up in the shuffle for a moment, and then look at him pull away right there. He's gone. To the house, Sequoia Malone ties the game up at 14 points apiece. Big momentum shift right there for Central. But not to be outdone, Terry Norris coming right back at him and right back at you into your living room. Look at him. Yeah, don't worry, we're rolling, Terry. Big game on Saturday night, and big play right here. The ensuing PAT missed wide right, 20-14. Longmeadow with the lead that would come back to haunt them. Third quarter, Central punting. Connor Kavari muffs the punt, and Central jumps on top of it. Golden Eagle football, and that's going to set up a big play right here as Cody Williams finds his brother Richie in the end zone, 20-20. And on the ensuing PAT, it's true, 21-20, Central with the lead. Into the fourth quarter now, still 21-20. Look at Terry Norris. You think he wanted to win this football game? Dragging 3, 4, 5 Central would-be tacklers an extra 5 or 6 yards. And look at him, fired up afterwards. But on 3rd down and 6, later in the drive, Lazarus incomplete to Norris, and they would punt the football away with under 4 minutes left. Central wouldn't let them get the ball back. Sequoia Malone, big first down run there on 2nd down and 7. They would not give the Lancers the football back. They'd kneel it out, and the celebration was on at Springfield Central. Huge win for the Golden Eagles, the first time they beat Longmeadow since 2000.
It's been too long for this, and it's the right team to do it with. So congratulations to everyone on the Central Eagles family, and I love them all.
This means the world, honestly. I mean, we know we've got the whole rest of the season ahead of us, but this is it. We're living in the moment right now. This is a great win. This means the world to the city, to everybody, like to us especially, that it has been 11 years since we beat this team, and this is going to bring Central back. We're back, baby.
If we do come across them again, hopefully it's in the Super Bowl, and we love to play them. They're a great team. They show a lot of heart out here, and I don't know what else to say. It just feels so great.
Certainly does for Central, and for Longmeadow snaps a 52-game AA conference winning streak dating back to 2004. Now out to Westfield, a battle of one ranked team and another just outside the polls. East Longmeadow at #7 Westfield. Picked this one up in the first quarter. Connor Laraway for Westfield playing without Anthony Nemeko, who again suffered a big injury. Laraway into the end zone. Looked like he was going to give Westfield a 6-zip lead, but it gets called back because of holding, and East Longmeadow would take advantage. Dan McGill to Sam Blake. Nice catch there on the slant pattern, and that's going to set up David Dubner, who had 147 yards, and this touchdown on the game makes it 7-zip East Longmeadow. Then, after a Westfield punt, Tom Mazza, he's been a big part of that Spartans offense. Nice move right there to get to the sideline, and that's going to set up yet another East Longmeadow touchdown as John Bortolucci on 3rd and a mile. Looked like they were going to have to go for it on 4th or perhaps settle for a field goal, but instead into the end zone. 14-7 zip rather, East Longmeadow, and they win it 14-6. Now, when the Chicopee Pacers got off to a 2-0 start, things were looking good, ranked as high as 5th in the area and preparing for a big game against Minnechaug. But now, after 3 straight losses against Chaug and Central and at West Springfield, the Pacers had some work to do, trying to climb back up the rankings and the playoff standings at scrappy and talented but 1-4 South Hadley. And this was a heck of a football game. South Hadley came out of the gates flying. Jordan Page to Anthony Bullo, down the sideline, tight ropes the sideline, into the end zone, 7-zip Tigers. They would take a 14-0 lead, but in the third, the blocked punt here by Chad Woodfine, and he's going to take it to the house, 14-7. The Tigers lead cut in half into the fourth, still 14-7. Brian Dupree to Javon Jackson ties the game up at 14 points apiece. Chicopee would take the lead on a safety, 16-14, and with 4 seconds left, last chance for South Hadley, and they go deep on the Hail Mary. Connor Doran in the end zone. They rule it incomplete. Might have been a catch, might not have been. They say no. 16-14. Chicopee with a huge win, and they get back to 500.
Oh man, we did a lot to prep for this game. We knew it was go big or go home, pretty much. I mean, if we lost this game, there was a slim chance of us getting to the playoffs, but now we got some hope. So 3-3 is pretty good.
Yeah, that was a big motivation. We lost 2 games by 3 points, Minnechaug by 2, Westside by 1. So we just wanted to come back out and show that those games that we lost, that those are not us. Those are just mistakes, and we can win games. We can compete with every team out here. No team is better than us.
Big statement there from Chad Woodfine, but as you heard from him, they're just about 4 points away from being 5-1 right now instead of 3-3. Now to Amherst, they've been playing very well of late on the road to Chicopee Comp, and the Comp Colts trying to make things difficult for Amherst, but Justin Carey finds Joe Worthley for the touchdown, 7-zip Amherst early on in the first quarter. Ensuing kickoff, though, Brandon Wood for Chicopee Comp is going to take this one down the far sideline into the end zone, and Chicopee Comp would go for 2 and take an 8-7 lead over Amherst. But when it was all said and done, just too much from the Hurricanes. Zach Jackson, we've been saying it all season long, the best name in Western Mass football, Zach Jackson. 228 yards and 3 touchdowns on the day. 44-14, Amherst with the win over Chicopee Comp, as the Hurricanes are above 500 for the first time in a while. And finally, the extended weekend of high school football continued into Sunday. Holyoke on the road to face Northampton. Both teams very much so in need of a win, and Holyoke played very well in this one on the road. Pick it up late second quarter, 13-3. Purple Knights with the lead. Connor Costello to Pat Bryant, 20-3. Purple Knights with the lead. Then just before the break, R.J. Ramsden trying to bring Northampton back downfield, but Bryant tips it and intercepts it. Big day for Pat Bryant on Sunday. Brings it back inside Northampton territory, and that's going to set up yet another Purple Knight score. Justin White looking up top for Taylor Kaysen. Holyoke going with that 2 QB system. Connor Costello and Justin White, the sophomore, worked like a charm on Sunday. 26-3 Holyoke, and then in the second half, Mark Gerard finding a seam on the sweep. 33-3 Holyoke. They win at 33-9, and they get off of that 4-game losing streak.
This game was very important. We have to win every game from here on out, and we try to do the best that we can. Our offense really stepped it up today, and our defense just did their thing again. We got real good defense, and we had some tough losses, but this game is very important to us, and I'm glad we took it.
This game was the most important game on the schedule right now because this is really going to boost our confidence for the rest of the season and keep us going on the right track.
And that certainly is the focus for Holyoke as they get off that 4-game losing streak. They're just a couple points away themselves from being perhaps 4-2 on the season, so a big win for the Purple Knights. Now for the rest of the games on the schedule over the course of the weekend, Athol knocks off SciTech 33-28. East Hampton over Ludlow 48-22. Moving on to the next set of games, Mohawk and Greenfield. Mohawk with a 46-6 win, and Franklin Tech falls at Ware 47-0. Dean Tech on the road to McCann Tech, big win for McCann Tech at home there, 59-12, and Frontier on the road to Turners Falls with a 20-6 win. Now to Commerce and Taconic, 8-zip. Taconic with the win there. Commerce trying to keep the momentum going, but couldn't quite get the win there on the road to Taconic. And Minnechaug, number 3 in the area, they keep rolling along, 39-14, the final score. Mahar and Belchertown looked like it might have been a big game. Belchertown came out very strong in this one, number 9 in the area in last week's poll, 42-18, big win win for the Orioles, and Palmer over Pathfinder 21-7. How about the number 1 team in the area, Putnam, 56-14 over Cathedral. No real surprise there. Putnam playing very, very well. Cathedral having a little bit of a tough year. And West Springfield way out east to Stoughton, falling in double overtime. Tough one for the Terriers, 13-7, the final score. So that leaves us with one last thing to touch on before we get out of here. Where do the rankings stand after such a big weekend in the Western Mass football landscape? Well, Putnam naturally stays number 1, of course. I had Longmeadow number 1 personally all along, but I'll admit I was proven wrong on Saturday night. Longmeadow, at least right now, not the top team in Western Mass. Central, I think, jumps to 2 above Minnechaug at 3, and Longmeadow, gasp, drops to 4 in my rankings, and Mount Greylock, still perfect, rounds out the top 5. Second 5 is as follows. Belchertown jumps back up after a big home win over Mahar. Chicopee slides in behind Westside after the Terriers' tough road loss, and East Longmeadow back in ahead of the Bombers that they beat on Saturday. So that's going to do it for us here on Friday Football Fever, or Saturday or Sunday, or however you want to term it. We'll leave you with some video from what was a fantastic game, Longmeadow and Central. It certainly lived up to the billing. The two of the 4 best teams in the area at the very least. A big-time game, in Central, for the first time since 2000, beats Longmeadow. Thanks for joining us, folks.